Do you think AI is going to take our jobs?
I'm not saying no to AI, right? We have to play with it, use it, test it, learn with it, right?
I think we are very aligned, all of us as humans, so that we are not going away.
I would definitely not advise just to sit and wait and and observe, honestly.
Hello, my dear Pharma Network, and welcome to the next episode of Pharma Talks. Here I am with you, Nataliya Andreychuk, CEO of V7, and today's conversation we will have about a very direct and very important question, which is bothering us all. And I have a very interesting guest for you in our studio. Please meet our guest today, Karol Wolak, who is the Global Omnichannel Lead in Merck and who is doing the customer engagement and digital transformation through omnichannel lenses. Karol, welcome. And give us a little bit of yourself, an introduction.
Thank you, Natalia. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting and having me. I think what I can add to your short presentation. So yes, I've been mainly dealing with, back in the day, multi-channel. Now it's omni-channel, and everything goes under the umbrella of customer engagement topics at Merck for almost now 10 years. Before that, I used to work in the consultancy industry, also taking care and working closely with, among others, pharma clients on marketing topics, but also digital topics, right? It was back then a kind of digital was a novelty as well. And pretty much today, digital and the omni-channel is about everything when it comes to the pharma interactions with the HCPs, of course, but also with the patients and its own employers as well.
That's a very interesting angle, Karol, because who is more important than patients? So engagement is getting absolutely different value when we are looking from the patient's, angle. So that's absolutely a great angle to look at all the communications we are making in pharma, isn't it?
Yes, I think this is also a kind of a main message of kind of our industry, that at the end of the day, the patient is our kind of a core stakeholder, core client, whatever we want to call it. But yes, I think that's the main kind of the goal, sometimes even the beauty of this industry, that yes, the aim is to be really like patient-centric, right? to make sure that we are helping other people with the quality of their life. Agree.
Absolutely amazing. And let us get straight to this very important question. So everyone is asking today, this question makes us, more proactive with AI, makes us more technology savvy, makes us to take different courses on AI, intelligence, knowledge. So whatever we are, it's like one of the approaches. The other approach is just to stay calm and to wait till everything will be figured out on its own. But the question is, do you think AI is going to take our jobs?
Yeah, I mean, I've, in a way, I could call myself a fan of AI, but in a sense that I'm quite critical. Maybe that's a very strong word, right? But sometimes when I hear exactly people or experts talking about AI replacing everything and everybody, right? That's of course a bit of a stretch, right? But you know what I mean. I tend to, to smug a bit, to laugh a bit about it. From my perception, my kind of an experience and observation, the answer would be very sharp and crisp. No, AI will not replace us, at least not now. Maybe in some kind of a future, yes, probably, I don't know. Not at the moment, definitely not.
This is an interesting, it's very good. First of all, it's very good. We are very, we are very aligned, all of us as humans, so that we are not going away. We are here and together with
Yes.
AI. But elaborating on that question, why do you think AI will be not taking our jobs? Is AI somehow unfit to take some actions we are doing as human, or AI is simply not technically on the stage to replace us? What is your angle on that?
I think, Natalia, a bit of both, right? Because, for instance, my position when it comes to AI is that I'm not saying no to AI, right? We have to play with it, use it, test it, learn with it, right? Because at the end of the day, I think it's all about, as we call it, resource optimization, meaning that AI can free up experts, us, right, from some repetitive tasks. So when we are talking about the pharma industry, those repetitive tasks or let's say back office task might be content tagging, might be MLR approval process, some kind of a data collection. So that is why I think that there is a place for AI for sure. And when it comes to us, for instance, marketing people, medical people, digital, omnichannel, right? I think AI, it's not about replacing us. It's more about accelerating those roles or augmenting those roles, right? Because I think still, and I think I'm not saying something really groundbreaking, there is a unique value of us humans, right? When it comes to context, when it comes to ethics, when it comes to judgment, strategy decisions, empathy, right? We are talking about patience. So what about the empathy? But also our industry is also highly regulated, right? So I think we have to act very cautiously here as well. So I think those values which I named, AI does not possess at the moment, right? Again, in the future, I don't really know. I think these unique values which I've mentioned, they will be here and they will stay with us as humans. I don't think that AI will be in a position to take it fully or take it even in on a minimal scale, so to say. When it comes to the technology fit you mentioned, yeah, that's also quite interesting because I think that with time, of course, technology-wise, AI become more fluent, more advanced, so to say. But I think that still we miss on couple of points about AI, because AI, it's about data, huge amount of data, right? About storing the data. So we already know that this bears a lot of cost as well. Even prompting, even working with an AI generates, or it includes consuming a lot of energy. So now if we are talking about ecology, right, and being so to say, when it comes to Earth, right? When it comes to the global climate, what about this, right? Should we? Well, we should take that into consideration. But then again, from the technology standpoint, maybe this will be or is already a kind of a blocker for AI development. I cannot answer this question, but I think this is those topics, those points we need to take into consideration as well.
I'm so happy you are telling that, Karol, because this aspect of the problem, I will be saying you are the first person who taken that angle. And this is the very right angle to take, because everyone today is talking about how we regulate AI, how we make it safe, but no one is actually taking the angle of our earth rights, right? And the nature rights, and how we are violating with the growing AI, the environment. The environment will be suffering more and more because more energy will be needed, more and more. We will be going into the resources which are not endless, right? And more we are scrutinizing the resources of our planet, more we are harmful for ourselves. So there must be a balance, right? A balance between AI is helping and accelerating, and the balance of humanity to survive in the real sense. Is this what you are saying? For us to survive beyond the jobs as human beings, we need to understand the balance between AI and us, right?
Yes, definitely, Natalia. I think that's basically a spot on, because again, I tend to read and listen a lot of podcasts, right? I read articles about AI, and very often when you look, for instance, at different company leadership teams, right? They're really, I wouldn't say, well, obsessed, but AI is the top priority. Whenever we are implementing a solution, a tool, or we are thinking about investing, right, in some kind of a solution, for example, this AI is like number one top priority. So does this solution have AI component? How AI can actually be implemented? How AI can support us with the daily life? That's fine, right? We cannot run away from this, innovation, but also this technical development we've been noticing and seeing for many, many years. I'm not saying that, but I think bearing in mind, again, the overall, like all the things that at the moment happen globally, we just cannot see, we cannot perceive AI or any other, let's say, innovation or technology solution, for instance, just from one angle. Right, it will give us a lot of benefits. It will save time, save money. It will cause the growth on income. It will have a big impact. All those buzzwords we've been using, right? Which of course they are valid, but then again, at the end of the day, we also need to considerate some kind of a long like consequences, so to say, right? So where we as a kind of humans will be in this kind of new high-tech world, right? How will that affect us? And also we need to, of course, take into consideration the planet as well. So I think, again, it's about being cautious and about, considering various aspects of AI, of technology altogether, I would say, right? Let's maybe not limit ourselves just to an AI. AI, it's a very, very powerful tool, right? Of course, some people may even claim it may be also dangerous with time, depending, which kind of a way we will develop AI or it will develop itself. But I think it's quite complex topic, and it definitely became a quite complex topic, and we have to put it in a bigger context. Yes, I agree.
That's absolutely amazing. Karol, I do agree with you, so that as humans, we need to be cautious. We cannot afford today to be against technology because it is accelerating us. It is making us to evolve in our professions. But you're absolutely right that we shouldn't be against our human values, right? Because human
Yes.
values is what making us a human and made us go so far. So to create AI in the first place and to create other technologies, amazing technologies for curing diseases, for fighting different odds, which is happening globally around the planet. So this what we
Yes.
cannot afford to deny, us being human. And the last but not least, if you would just recommend for all of us, for listeners, how to embrace in the better way this age of technology, what to do, to pilot, to learn, just to observe, what is your advice to our listeners?
Yeah, I would definitely not advise just to sit and wait and sit and observe, honestly. Why? Because the pace is so quick, right? Just, I don't know, we can even think, now it's 2026, think about, I don't know, back in the day, 2020, what we had back then, what the situation looks like at the moment, right? It's a huge difference. Of course, yes, some people may say, well, we've been still struggling with sending people to Mars, right, or to the other planets. Right? The men landed on the moon in the 60s or something, and this kind of I wouldn't say development, but nothing of such importance happened throughout those 40, 50, 60 years. But still, coming back to the topic, right? I would encourage people to get acquainted with the technique, with technology, with innovation, what is actually happening at the moment, about a variety of trends. In some cases, definitely, we should also learn, practice, play with those different solutions or technology as well. It's not about spending the whole days right now reading all the articles or sitting and using different AI tools, so to say. But I think to be very open and listen, right? So really navigate through our life with the eyes wide open in a way that, okay, let's see what is actually happening. If there is anything that we are missing out on. Again, let's not take it to the extreme, right? It's not just about spending 24 hours or 8 hours every day of our lives reading, right, and paying attention, because of course it is tiring, so to say, activity, right? We cannot be only focused on that. But I would definitely encourage to be open, to experiment, to be prepared that we fail, or something is more complex and more time is required for us to actually learn it. But again, think at the end of the day, coming back to what we start talking about, Nataliya, right, about those human values, let's be practical and pragmatical about it. Let's not act in the sense that we have this fear of missing out of something. In today's world, we will miss on many things, I'm afraid, right? So I guess we have to be clever, we have to be rational, but definitely open-minded and quite flexible. That's my advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. I cannot agree more. Karol, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for sharing your opinion. And this episode was expected to be honest, pragmatic, to be on the point. So to bring the new angle, the fresh angle on this AI and technology topic, and to see where we are as humans with our fears, with our doubts, like about jobs, like about fear about the future. So thank you so much for your opinion on that. And I want our listeners, if they have any other questions, to reach out to Karol, to reach out to me, and continue the conversation. So thank you very much, and
Thank you
wish
so much.
a very wonderful continuation of your day. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Natalia, for
goodbye.
having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.